Ew. Hey, what's up, guys? All right. Let's see here. Well, good morning. And you see if there's anything I can do about this video over here. The problem with kits with so much white is that it's really hard to kind of show it to you guys properly on stream without it just being blown out white, and I don't know, there's not really much I can do about it, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. If I turn the gain down, brightness up. No, that's not really much better, is it? I think we're probably better with a little bit higher gain and less brightness. Anyway. Alright, well, I don't know if I can really get it much better than that, but move my lights further. Arms, yeah, my lights are kind of pushed back as far as they can go, unfortunately. I could turn some off. I don't know if that'll really be better or worse. We can try it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it's really going to be much better, even with the lights off. With that light off, that's the closest light to them. There's a bunch of lights around in here. Yeah. I think that's probably going to be... well, maybe as good as it's gonna be. I mean, is that better than it was before? What do you guys think? Is that... it doesn't really look all that different on my screen as far as I'm seeing that. Good enough, or at least, I mean, you can see what's going on. Alright. So anyway, let's see here. This is going to be the first time doing any kind of like, basically like a backwards stream. On Friday, we built it all up, and now we're going to take it all apart. So, I got my box here, and everything's just going right back into the box. Actually, I think I'm just going to keep this on. I didn't like how uneven that was. There is a little bit of fixing needs to be doing on the a couple of seams on the weapons too. Yeah. Well, let's just go with that. And there's a fly going around in here. See, I want this. I'm trying to just order my windows around here so that I can see everything. Questions about the kit? Anything that I didn't cover in the review that you guys wanted me to go over? Do feel free to ask. One thing, what was it? I was thinking afterwards there was something, what was that? I was thinking that well, one thing that I didn't cover in the review was the compatibility with the Armed Armor DE shield. But I did try that later on after recording the review. So if you guys are interested interested to know if this will work with the Armed Armor DE shield, it does, and you can see a picture of that on my Twitter. I posted a photo on Twitter, so you guys can check that if you want to know for sure. Would you ever consider painting it like the RX-782 or new Gundam colors? Mike, to answer your question, Mike, no, I wouldn't. I don't really like painting like other non-RX-782 kits in RX-782 colors. I don't really like that. The first thing I'm trying to do is just get this dang shield off the arm, because it's not like you can just like slide it out, because it also has the clear part that's pegged in straight into the arm there, so you have to kind of just pull it off, but then you also have to pull off the connection piece that's holding the two beam Gatling guns together, like that. So as far as new Gundam colors, I have seen, I mean, one reason why I wouldn't do that is just because I've already seen it done before, and I would want to do something, you know, a little more unique. I'd want to do something that hasn't been done before, if possible, you know. Painting, like, basically my plans for it is to paint it in pretty much the original colors, just a little bit tweaked, so it's not like my idea is super creative. But I've seen the unicorn painted in new Gundam colors before, and it looked alright. But I still think just the unicorn design is one that just really looks best when it's just like all one color, basically. So I think I mentioned this during the live stream as well too. But, so like all white or all black, all gold, like that. So I don't really, in my opinion, think that it's it never really looks that great in any other kind of mixed color scheme like that. So first we just break it down into different sections here, and why don't we just start with the assembly started from the torso. Why don't we just start from the torso as well here. Pixel Ninja asked, did you finish the Messer whip? Yes, actually, it's funny that you asked that, because just this morning before doing this, I was just editing the final video for the Messer. I recorded that last night, and then we're editing that. So later on this, it's already scheduled to upload later this afternoon, so it's 11:15 now. I think I scheduled that to upload at 4 p.m. So 6 hours from now, you'll be able to watch the final review there of the Messer. So yeah. Mikhail, to answer your question, is it bigger than average MG? Yes, you don't need to spam the chat. If you have a question that you really want me to answer, just tag me in your question. That way I can, you know, pick it out of the chat easier. But yes, of course, the unicorn is bigger than the standard MG. If you ever want to know the size of a kit, especially an MG kit, is really easy to figure out because it's 1 to 100. 1 to 144 is a little bit trickier math. But 1 to 100 is easy enough to figure out because you just go to the Gundam Wiki page or whatever, check the height of the kit. In this case, think the unicorn in destroy mode is something like 23 meters tall. So in 1 to 100 scale, just divide by 100, and this kit should be about 23 centimeters tall, assuming that it's accurate. And usually the kits are accurate to their design. There's some examples where the kits aren't accurate really necessarily to their official height, but pretty much anything in the master grade line is going to be accurate to its correct size. What's my favorite Converge album? Hey, come on. You don't have to ask any Converge fan what their favorite Converge album is. If any Converge fan tells you their favorite Converge album is anything other than Jane Doe, then they're just lying. Or they've never heard Jane Doe somehow. But of course, my favorite Converge album is Jane Doe. But second to that would be... Maybe All We Love Will Leave Behind. Maybe. I really liked the direction of that one as well too. Kind of quite different. A lot of the songs. And one thing I should have grabbed, it's over there, I'll have to go grab it. I should have brought the manual here with me, because a lot of times in disassembling I'll have to refer back to the manual to kind of see. I don't remember exactly how any particular section went together, so in order to kind of jog my memory, make sure I'm not like, you're trying to like take apart this piece and you're trying to pull it one way and it's actually not supposed to go that way. It's more obviously going to be more easy to break it. So you want to make sure you're pulling stuff apart in the correct direction if you don't remember how it went. So like if this piece connected like this, but you're trying to pull it like this, it's not going to come off or it's going to break. Let's see. Buck, thank you for using the YouTube super chat there. Appreciate it. He said, love everything you do. I've been missing Japan, so I've been watching your Japan shopping. Hope to see you go and do more videos when the travel permits. Yeah, man, I would love to go back to Japan. And I'm just waiting until everything's kind of all clear. You know, I was meant to go at the beginning of May for the Shizuoka Hobby Show, and that was canceled, so yeah. To answer, let's see, I think I'd seen Superset over there on Twitch, and I think I see someone else on Twitch also asking about why I'm taking the kit apart. But to answer your question, how easy is the kit to take apart? Well, I just started, so I couldn't really tell you how easy it is to take apart, but I can tell you I'm certain it's going to be significantly easier to take apart without the LED unit installed. Once you got that in, it's going to be, you have to be a lot more careful. But because I don't have the LED sheet installed, I don't need to be, quite as super careful with it. Nushi on Twitch asked, does the kit have any ugly seam lines? Not on the body. I mean, not really any version of the Unicorn has seam lines usually on the body, because the design just doesn't really call for it, right? Maybe the HG has a seam line on the head, maybe. It does have seam lines on the weapons though. That is unfortunate. So like I mentioned in the review that I didn't mind that that this kit uses the same mold for the old weapons from the original MG Ver.Ka. But one thing that I do kind of wish is that they would have made new weapons just so that they could have eliminated the seam lines on the weapons. I believe the bazooka, I think, doesn't really have seam lines on it. Maybe like on the ammo cartridge. But the main body of the bazooka, I think, is pretty fine. Doesn't have seam lines on it. But the beam magnum and the beam gatling guns have seam lines. The beam gatling guns just have a seam line here on this kind of like ammo drum looking part there. It feels rare to see. Someone asking about the mods in the chat. I have for my YouTube live streams, I have 2 different mods, but yeah, they're not necessarily always here. I don't ring them up before a live stream to make sure that they're available. I just kind of do my streams, and if they're around, they're around. But yeah, the most useful tools I find for disassembly, by the way, tweezers, like curved tip like that, and not super thin one because they'll end up bending. These are strong enough that they don't bend, fortunately. These are just Tamiya tweezers, and also the part separator. So this is the wave one, but if you guys have been watching the USA Gundam TV channel, in the last episode on the USA Gundam TV channel live stream, Adam and I did. Adam showed off the new USA Gundam Store version of this. The handle is kind of basically the same, but the end, oh my, sorry about that. The actual prying bit, the metal bit of it is different. Sorry, this is another reason why I need to get a new camera set up here for live streaming, because the camera that I use here, and especially the arm of it, doesn't really attach to this table very well. So apologies there. Just get this lined back up again. It's close enough. It's not that the camera is too heavy. It's that the edge of it's got like a clamp for clamping on the side edge of the table, you know. And the edge of this table is not. It's not square. It has like a kind of bevel at the bottom, so it kind of doesn't really have a super good grip on the side of the table there. But let me just fix this here. Closer look at the plastic, right? Alright, hang on. Before we go on, let me grab the manual. Let's see. Casval asked, looks like an ocarina. Yeah, it does kind of. D-Cypher1 asking, what's the clear parts made of ABS plastic? Yeah, I talked about this in the review, or in the unboxing video. I went over that, but there's two kinds of clear parts in this. There's the kind of clear parts which are completely clear, which are meant to just be channeling the light on the inside. Basically, they're like replacement parts for the inner frame, unlike the regular Ver.Ka, what would normally just be kind of your standard inner frame parts. There's some that are just plain clear, and those are just meant to kind of make sure that the light gets to where it needs to go. And those parts are polystyrene. But the kind of milky clear parts are the ones that are actually, that like you'll see, that are the bits of cycloframe that you'll actually see once the kit is transformed and lit up. Those milky clear parts are ABS plastic, yeah. And what I'm thinking to do with those, just to make them kind of extra shiny, I know some things that sometimes what people will do is dip the clear parts, either spray or dip. One thing you can do, of course, is just dip them in like a pledge. And I don't know if that's, what do you guys think? Should I do that? Would that work with like these milky clear parts? Basically just to kind of make them extra super shiny. I could just gloss coat them, you know, like normal, but maybe dipping them could also be kind of cool. What do you think? The main question we all want to know about the MG Unicorn is, when is the HE Master final video coming out? Brendan, I already mentioned a little bit earlier that I edited that video this morning, and it's scheduled to upload later today at 4. So 5.5 hours from now. So later this afternoon, you'll be able to see the final Messer video. So yeah, what do you guys think about the idea of dipping the milky clear, like the fully clear parts, like those there, I won't do anything with. Basically, I don't need to do anything with that. But the milky clear ones, dip them in pledge to kind of make them extra shiny. I know, like for clear parts, that also makes them like more glassy as well too. But I don't know if it'll really have that effect on those, because they're, like I said, kind of not perfect. No, they're not totally clear. Let's see. Nick said, have you seen the Yuzhou Land High new resin kit? Yes, I'm sure I probably have seen pictures of that on Facebook, but I've not looked at it closely. I just ordered it as my first resin kit, kind of scared of all the masking, but I don't know of any good tutorials for super tiny masking. Good tutorials for super tiny masking? I don't know of any offhand, but I'm sure you could probably find that. I mean, super tiny masking, I'm sure just kind of goes about the same as just your regular masking, I guess. So let's see. Just checking back to the manual. Basically, just following the manual in reverse order to see how to take these sections apart. The other thing, I talked about this during the live stream build, But the thing about this, because it's got the LED sheet in it, basically I won't be able to like assemble much of the kit until like everything is all completely done, because I've got to like have everything painted and top coat everything. I don't want to spray anything on it once the LEDs are installed in there, for risk of damaging the LEDs or anything like that. So you know, the top coat is still just regular lacquer based paint. It just happens to be clear, so it's still got lacquer thinner, and I don't want to spray that on the LED sheet just to be safe. So I'll have to like, you know, do everything: the painting, the panel lining, decals, final top coat, all of that with the kit like basically completely disassembled, and then I can assemble it at the very end. And the other reason for that too is to keep the clear parts clear. And I really just want the armor parts to be top coated, right? Because my top coat's going to be a matte top coat. Tricky part here, getting the off the beam Vulcan, getting the white part off the back of there. Let's see. That tiny little front part's easy enough to pop off, but the back part's proving to be a little bit more difficult. Let's see. I think I can kind of, let's see. How can I take this apart? Maybe I can kind of push it out from, there's a little hole here at the back, fortunately. Maybe I can kind of push it out through there, but actually not really. That hole doesn't go to the clear part in there. I guess just kind of pull it like that, but there you go. Really scared about breaking that. Anyway, does anyone here like the new SDCS Zeta release? Mikkel, are you talking about like the new parts set like for the Zeta so that you can put it in put the SDCS kit into Wave Rider mode? I mean, it looks pretty cool. Honestly, that the SDCS kit actually does kind of look cool in Wave Rider mode. Superset asked, do you think Bandai will sell the Unicorn by itself later down the line? No, I don't think so. I know a lot of people are kind of hoping that. I think it's a lot of wishful thinking that Bandai is going to sell this kit without the LED sheet, but I don't think that's going to happen, because it kind of defeats the whole purpose. The whole point of this kit is that it's extreme, and the extreme point of this kit is the lighting feature. So without the lighting feature, it's just basically a Unicorn Gundam Ver.Ka 2.0, basically, like, which is fine, but the whole point of this is that it's the MGEX, and if it's not the EX anymore, then what is it? Alright, this should, oh, there we go. There we go. Should pop out of there. And that should pop out of here. Let's see. Unleashed RX-78 2. What was that called? Yeah, the PG Unleashed. Yeah, still waiting on any kind of news on that. So far, nothing to speak of. Hey, Speedball Haro. Hey, how's it going? Let's see your question there. With the now revealed RG Zeong and the DX effect, do you think we'll be getting an updated RG RX-78 or not? I don't think so. You know, I was hoping that the like the DX version would include the RX-782 as well, and it's kind of a shame that it's not. But the only kind of reason that I wanted it to was because I was hoping that it would include like a couple new parts for it, and it does show in the DX set that it does come with at least one new part for the RX-782, and it's a new trigger finger hand for it, which is something. It's something that RG kit definitely needs, because the articulated hands kind of suck, as we all know. So it's good that we're getting the a new hand for it, at least, anyway. Let's see, and this part here should come off. See, the problem I mentioned this during the review, how like a lot of these newer master grades have this bit where to add details they have little tiny bits cut out of the armor, where you see like little bits of the frame poking through. The problem is when you're disassembling the kit, it's just one more thing you have to be careful of. Like breaking pegs or something like that on the inside of the kit doesn't matter, but you don't want to break off that little bit, because then, you know, your hole in the armor will have nothing there if you've broken off that piece of the frame that's supposed to be sticking through. So you got to be really careful removing those sections that have the kind of little armor inner frame bits sticking out through them. Alright, so then this whole middle section, I guess I need to take that apart in order to paint the cockpit, but I'm not gonna, because no one's ever gonna see the cockpit. I'm not gonna display it with the cockpit hatch open, so kind of no point. I was planning on switching out, because the cockpit now is in unicorn mode, so I was planning on switching that part out to make it into destroy mode, just for, I guess I'll do it just because we're here, I guess. But I'm not gonna paint it. I'm not gonna paint the pilot figure. Sorry. I wouldn't, I mean, it's talking about how I don't want to cut any corners on my builds, but I don't really consider it that necessarily cutting a corner by not painting the pilot figure inside there that no one's ever going to see, but it's just very unnecessary. But I will go ahead and just change that piece of the cockpit there, of the chair, if I can get it out easily. It was kind of hard to get in place. There we go. So don't need that. And this one goes here. Let's see. I almost feel like, did I put this together wrong? I feel no, yeah. This part would be easier to put on before putting the pilot figure in place, but according to the manual you are supposed to put the pilot figure in there first. So I don't know. Whatever. Guess that's like that. That's it. Okay, I guess that's right. Good enough. Alright, so now the cockpit is officially in destroy mode. We just won't bother painting that pilot figure. Whatever. So just need to jog my memory how these clear parts go on. Wouldn't want to put them on backwards. That'd be a little bit of a pain. So there we go. So this whole kind of core section here I don't need to do anything with, basically. Don't need to paint that or anything. Unless I end up deciding that I want to dip those frame parts. But I don't, that's the problem. I don't have anything I can test it with. Let me see. Hang on. Yeah. I was hoping I still had the just empty runner laying around, but unfortunately, looks like I don't. I guess, So I could just like cut off a piece of the runner and try dipping it just to see what it looks like. I'm not using 2 of the shields, but the inner frame on the shield is not in that milky clear, which are the parts in question. The inner frame on the shields is just the standard clear. You guys are just checking on the chat. It looks like, oh my, you guys are contemplating about what the next EX kit is going to be. I don't know. During the premiere of the review yesterday, we were talking about that as well too. And I kind of really liked the idea of a future MGEX kit being the God Gundam. And I know some people said that well, we just got the high-res God Gundam not that long ago, which I don't think would necessarily mean that they wouldn't do an MGEX God Gundam just because the high-res kit already exists. Because I mean, they both kind of would be like in the same category of like 1/100 scale, high-end, as in expensive kits. But I think, you know, the cool thing that they can do, and I guess what they could end up doing is doing this with like one of the build fighters kits, like making a Tri-Burning Gundam or something like that, because they haven't made a Tri-Burning Gundam MG or build burning or whatever. But just an MGEX kit that's like really focused on the articulation, like a martial arts based kit, I think would be like a good one for that. So the God Gundam was just what came to mind, but I guess doing something from build fighters could work as well too. Let's see. Can I just pop this in half? I know, like, for the actual construction of the backpack, this little piece on the top, which I forgot to flip up during my transformation of the kit for the review, that little piece on the top went on, I think, like last during the construction, but should be able to take this apart and take that part off later. MGEX God Gundam would have to have a light up fist though. Yeah, I mean, like light up fist, I guess something that they could do with that. Obviously the light up section in the torso for the kind of torso opening hatch gimmick of that. Can't get these thruster bells off of here. Ow! I was just stabbing my thumb with these tweezers. Teeth can also be a useful tool. Need to pop off those little guys on there as well, these little tiny ring bits. Is there a way I can pop those out from the back? Yes, there is. Good. Oh, don't want to lose that though. All right. And kind of the same thing for these bits. Chibechi. Oh, maybe I have it in the back of my backpack. It's live.
Yay!
Let's do it.
Why are you playing?
Just in case.
Sorry, I stepped on it.
All right. As we were saying before we were so rudely interrupted. No, just my wife. Let's see. Yeah, get those out of there, and this guy. How can I take that part off there? There we go. And this part off of here. There you go. All right, torso and backpack are all done. Okay, cool. Thought Hunter said, recommendations for a beginner MG from the UC timeline. I've built a few HGs, but never built an MG yet. Thought Hunter, I would highly recommend the Master Grade Jagan. If you want a grunt, if you wanted like a lead suit or like a Gundam or something, then maybe not. But if you don't mind building a grunt suit, the Master Grade Jagan is great. It's quite simple as far as Master Grades go, so it can be kind of like a good transition from HG to MG. But it's a great kit as well too. So like, it's a little bit simple, a little bit easy to build, but still good, solid, nice. Other than that, well, let me just ask before I go into a whole rant on the subject, if maybe it's unnecessary. Are you looking for more of like a lead Gundam design, or like is a grunt okay as far as recommendations go? Comical Nerd also mentioning Hakushiki. Yeah, basically any Master Grade 2.0 is a good kit. I can't think of any Master Grade 2.0 that was not a good kit. They're all good. We'll need to be careful about this to get that clear part out of there. Yeah, Arv is also mentioning the Jesta. Yeah, the Jesta also a good one. Similar to, I mean, it's also kind of a grunts technically, sort of. But yeah, it's going to be a much more kind of complex looking design. A bit more kind of cool looking design, maybe. Why don't you go ahead and just pop on out of there, will you? Come on and out. There you go. And this part. There you go. Easy enough. Gym Sniper 2, yeah. Speedball mentioning the Gym Sniper 2. Yeah, Gym Sniper 2 definitely another good option, of course, or any particular variant of that, the Gym Command or Gym Sniper Custom. John Chan asking any recommendations on resin conversion kits for someone who has just done a few basic weapons. The Simpro Sazabi resin conversion kit for the RG seems to be good by everyone's reviews. I've heard about that. I have that. I've not built it yet, so I couldn't say from personal experience, but that one I've heard is good. But the Infinite Dimensions ones I know or I've heard are all good. They're much more expensive, of course, if you don't mind the price. But you know, resin kits in general, anything, whether it's a conversion kit or a full kit or anything, obviously they're, if you know anything about them, you know they're a bit more expensive, so it just kind of goes with the territory. But at least my experience so far with building the one Model Bingo kit is that Model Bingo is pretty good. I'm not sure what do Model Bingo make in the way of conversion kits though, not full kits. I'm sure probably something, I can't think of it offhand. Hasaki saying mad props for you, man. What did you say? Sorry, I lost it there in the chat. What was that? Don't know how you don't get burnt out of snapping all these kits almost daily. I mean, I think that's the thing about it, man, is just keep doing it every day. I don't know, if I feel like if I took a break, like if I took a week off, it'd be hard to get back into doing it, you know what I mean? Just by keep doing it, it's kind of one way to not get burnt out, maybe, I don't know. I think I just really enjoy it, but the variety is helpful as well too. So like like here's a perfect example. Just spent like the last 4 days like just working on this kit, right? Or 5 days. Anyway, basically as soon as it landed here, I unboxed the kit, had to do the unboxing video, and then I got right to work on prepping all the parts. And then on Friday I had to do the live stream, building it, and then over the weekend I was working on the review, and yesterday posting the review. So like after just working on this kit for like a few days in a row, I needed to just work on something else. Like so like last night I actually started work on the Machine & Krieger Kuster kit just because I wanted to just work on something else for a little bit. So I just took a little bit of time off from this last night to just start working on the Kuster a little bit. And you know, that'll be kind of a side project that I'll kind of like work on at the same time as the Unicorn here. So like in between working on this and stuff, I'll also just work a little bit on a side project, and I think that kind of helps a lot too with burnout. Having like a couple things going on at once, that you can, if you don't feel like working on one particular thing, rather than just like not working on anything, you just have something else you go work on instead. So like while building the Resin God Gundam, I needed a side project for that. So for a while I was working on like the side project of the Megami Device kits, which are done. I just still need to finish the bases for those two kits. And those were kind of basically done, and then I was working on the side project of the Messer, so which is also done, and so that video will be posted up later today. So it always kind of helps to have something else you're working on too. And I have this whole other column here of other works in progress that are started and kind of abandoned. So sometimes, you know, your side projects do kind of fall by the wayside as well too, and that kind of happens. But yeah. That's how I think one way. Anna over there on Twitch asking how's the Messer coming along. Just to mention one more time that the Messer is done. I posted a photo on my social media on Instagram and Twitter of what it looks like all done, and the final video for that is scheduled to be uploaded this afternoon, so you guys will see that later today. Alright, I need to refer to the manual here for a moment. Make sure I'm taking apart these skirt sections the correct way. Yeah, this should just pop out of here. AXF2 said, "Are you thinking about getting the RG new Gundam Heavy Weapons System kit? Any of the P Bandai kits look interesting to you? Keep up the great work." Thank you. Yeah, I have the Heavy Weapons System kit on pre-order. I think that's coming out. I've already seen people getting it in Japan, so I should be getting mine pretty soon. But yeah, I'm getting that kit. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It looks cool. The other one that I have on pre-order I know is the Pluton, the HD Pluton. Really looking forward to that one as well too. Such a cool design, like a mix of like 00 MSV and Advanced Zeta kind of design. And I believe they're the same mecha designer, which is why they kind of look like that kind of crossover. But that one I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Mercurius and V8 set, but unfortunately I wasn't able to pre-order that, so I'll have to, hopefully I can get to pre-ordering that one as well. And like any new Advanced Zeta kit I'm also looking forward to as well too. The Hazenthei Ra 2. Dang. This part removing from the back skirt is proving to be a little bit tricky, but I think I can not remove that part, clear part, and just kind of do it like this. There you go. That works fine. I was also, I'm hoping to get the new Stormbringer kit as well too. It's not really much new, it's just basically a new color version. So if I don't end up getting one, it's kind of fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much because it's just a color swap basically. There are some new parts which do look pretty cool. But I also missed the pre-order for the that new Stormbringer as well too. So if I don't get it, you know, it won't be that big of a deal. But hopefully I can get my hands on that one as well too. Do you have any P Bandai recommendations? David, do I have any P Bandai recommendations? Probably a lot. I've done, if you go back, I think in like my last couple of like year end, when I did like the best of 2019 or like the best and worst kits of 2018, like that, and those type of videos, I think the past couple of years I've done a specific part of that video of like the best of P Bandai as well too. So if you go back and check that, you can see the kits that I mentioned as being like the best, in my opinion, P Bandai releases for those past couple years. Brendan asks, are you planning on painting any Advanced Zeta kits soon? I love Advanced Zeta. Yeah, I don't have any plans to paint anytime soon, Brendan. Probably should. The closest thing kind of in my plans would be, I plan on and this one as well is not something that I'm gonna like start working on this week or anything, but I do plan on hopefully sometime soon starting work on a custom frame arms girl kit, making a custom base lard, but making it like Advanced Zeta themed. It's already kind of got like the rabbit ears on it, right? So seems like it's a good match. So a custom Advanced Zeta themed base lard frame arms girl. Basilard, I guess this, people usually correct my pronunciation on that. Let's see. Saki also asked, let me ask you this. Do you prefer to work on bigger scale kits rather than smaller ones, or does it matter? No, Saki, I don't really have any preference on that necessarily. I haven't worked on like a really small kit for a while. Something like my Nachen kits, which is also another work in progress that I need to finish eventually. A couple of custom Nachen kits that I was working on. But also something like the Gachanen, the Machine and Krieger, little like 1/35 scale capsule kits. Got a bunch of those that need to work some more on. I have an idea for like a kind of tutorial kind of video using one of those little kits that I've been wanting to do for a while, that should get around to working on that. It's also on my to-do list. Other small kits that I'd like to work on that I haven't worked on for a while too would be some Exceed heads. I've not yet painted a Exceed Gundam head, and honestly not really like that excited on painting one of the Exceed Gundam heads. They're kind of cool, but the Exceed Zaku heads are so much cooler. So I'll probably paint a couple more Exceed Zaku heads before I ever get around to painting a Exceed Gundam head, but I've got a couple of Gundam heads. They'll probably just stay in the backlog a little bit longer, I'd imagine. I think in my case, got something to do with me not liking working on 144 scale kits. I mean, yeah, you might have your preferences to which scale or which grade you prefer. Have you seen the new Kotobukiya line based around high school girls? They're in a scale, yeah, with the Memegami device. Yeah, I did see that. I'm looking forward to checking that kit out. I don't remember the name of the line. It's something Japanese. But yes, I did see that. And it kind of like, I just kind of stumbled upon it actually. I was looking for something else, I don't know what, and I just kind of saw that and I was like, oh, what's this? I didn't really see like much about that, so maybe I just kind of missed the memo on that. But yeah, it's glad that I stumbled upon it so that I could get my pre-order in for it. So yeah, I pre-ordered the kit, and I think so far all they have is just like the main kit of like the first kind of girl in a line, and then there's like a table and chairs set for it, right? I didn't bother with the table and chair set. I'm good on that. But the base kit, I'm looking forward to checking that out. It's basically sort of like a crossover between like Megami Device and Figma, sort of like a Figma that you can build yourself, kind of like that. And I've seen like on like the official Kotobukiya info that they mentioned that the kit is going to be like a more simple construction. So I think it'll be very much just like building a Figma, basically, I think, and less like building a Megami Device kit. Not as complex as Megami Device kits are. Raphael asks, have you tried the Exceed Dom heads? I just got one, looking forward to painting one up. No, I've not. I don't really like the look of them. I don't think they look very cool, in my opinion. I mean, I love the Dom, much as the next guy. But as far as like the Exceed head, it just kind of, the Dom head on its own, like without a body, it looks kind of weird. It's just like a big dome. I don't know, kind of ugly looking shape. It kind of needs the body to really get like the full effect of the Dom head. So it looks a bit odd. Hey, that'd be an idea for like a custom project. Building, just like scratch building a 1/140, like a what scale are those? They're like 1/35th kind of. Close to that, right? I think. It's like scratch building a Dom torso to go with the head. If you want to do something like that, I think it'd be a lot more cool looking. It's not something that I would necessarily want to do, but if someone were to do that, it would look cool, I'm sure. All right, now for this front section, how am I gonna take this part apart? This. I don't know how to take apart this psycho boner here. Should just pop straight on there. Nick, thoughts on the new 1/72nd scale Dendrobium Orcus third-party kit? If my math is correct, yeah. I'm not really interested. It's just not really something that I'm interested in getting. It looks ridiculous. I kind of doubt that they'll actually follow through with making the full Dendrobium. I think they'll probably make the base GPO3 kit that they're making now, and then they'll probably they'll just give up on making the Dendrobium. It's too crazy, too ridiculous. Thoughts on adding clear blue to the clear parts to alter the colors of the LED? Superset, yeah, I thought about that. I don't know how well it would work. I think you'd kind of just have to try it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think in theory it should work, right? You know, if you spray the Psycho Frame parts in clear blue, and then, you know, with the kind of reddish pink LEDs lit up, then it should have like kind of a purple Psycho Frame, which could be cool. But yeah, I don't know how well necessarily that will actually work in practice. In theory, it makes sense, but I don't know. If you try that, or if any of you guys see anyone trying that, send me a link or something. Let me know, or tag me or something, because I'm interested to know how well that would work. Not that it's something that I want to do with mine, but wondering why these parts. I didn't have them pushed together all the way here for the crotch Psycho Frame. Maybe that's why the transformation of the Psycho Frame there in the crotch was so tight on mine, because I didn't have those parts pressed together all the way. Alright, this whole kind of section we can just leave together like this and just paint this all as one thing here, fortunately. I'll have to take it apart a little bit to actually put it back together later, but there's that done. I already took apart one of the feet, and I kind of started to take apart this leg a little bit, but I'll get to the leg now. Let's see. Just remember correctly, then this opposite armor piece came off. So even though this is a 1/100 scale kit, I think fortunately it won't be, you know, like requiring so much sanding, because, like, you know, at least a good percentage of the parts are clear parts that I don't need to sand because I'm not going to paint them, so it's a little bit convenient. And then like all the The gray inner frame parts as well too don't need a lot of sanding. There's not a lot of the sections that are going to end up showing. War Master, hello. Thoughts on editing? Okay, sorry, Superset. I already read that comment. I was just reading your same comment. Oh, for some reason my comment stream here was not moving. Is making experience a lot of latency issues. Yeah, Ready. It could be that's causing the latency issues. Yes, I didn't think about that. The fact that it's streaming to multiple platforms. That's a good point. Let's see. This part here on the front. But for the most part, so far I would say this kit pretty easy to disassemble. So far, that is. Hang on, sorry. Without the LED installed. This part needs to come off there. There we go. That and that. But yeah, like I mentioned before, if you did have the LED installed, you'd be having a much harder time with this, I'm sure. Or at least you just need to be much more super careful about it. Alright, the dom head looks weird on its own. Just got it on sale here and wanted to try something different. Oh yeah, I mean, if you're able to pick one up for cheap or something, or you like the way it looks or whatever, by all means. It's me, Pam's, watching a live stream and building the MG Mark II 2.0. Can't say that I've ever built that kit necessarily. I built it kind of partially with building the Master Grade Hazel. It's based off the same kit, but it's kind of an odd bit of flash there that I somehow didn't notice before. And it's kind of weird for any Bandai kit like this to have flash on it, but Alright. Alright. Yeah, this portion of the leg, am I meant to take off the part on the front first? Maybe. Maybe not. Part on the side should come off pretty easily, right? What's stuck? It's stuck on that part of the knee. Yes. Needed to remove that part first, then we can take this whole part. I forgot that this section up for the side of the leg also, the frame part of that goes all the way up to the side of the knee. Kind of weird. And so we can pop this out of here. Just go ahead and pop on out of there, will ya? There we go. Come on. Come on. There we are. Thank you. What's this? Okay. Checking what's going on in the chat there. I saw a video on 9gag of a potter who looks very similar to you, Zach. Oh, really? I think someone may have sent me that link, actually. I remember someone recently sent that to me in like a Instagram DM or something. Someone sent that to me, said that it looks like a potter version of me, something. Hey Ricardo, what's going on? More coverage of the EX Unicorn here. Ricardo, have you started building yours yet? You posted that picture of the P Bandai box art. That's yours, right? I don't know if maybe you were just posting that photo, and it was not necessarily your kit. I'm assuming that was your kit, right? That you're posting. Opinion on the RX-79G Ground Gundam. I've got it coming in the mail soon and just want to know what it's like. It's I don't know which version of the Ground Gundam are you talking. The HG, sorry. You're talking about the new HG, I would assume. It's a great kit. The torso is a little bit annoying. How kind of the ball joint holding the top and bottom half of the torso comes apart kind of easily. It's a bit annoying, but other than that, it's a fine kit. It's a nice kit, by the way. Hey, how's it going, Brian? Said, cannot wait to see your work on this kit. Sadly, we won't be able to be getting one. Doctors are costing an arm and a leg. Man, I heard that. Well, I mean, fortunately, it's not an issue that we have to deal with here in Korea. But, yes, I know in America, the doctors are very expensive. But, hey, the kit will be around. If you can't afford to get one at the moment, you can always pick one up, later. Come on. Come out of there. The other day, I went to the doctor here in Korea just to give you guys an idea of like kind of medical costs here. And any of you guys, like not anyone else watching who's not in America probably also has this kind of similar usual doctor's experience as me. But for example, what we have here in Korea, I went to the doctor because my neck's kind of hurting. I have this kind of problem with my neck. And then, so it was just kind of bothering me. So I just wanted to go to the doctor basically just to get some kind of treatment for that. So usually when I've been in the past, I just go in and just get some medication, basically some like muscle relaxer, and some physical therapy there, some kind of simple physical therapy just to help with that. And so went in to the doctor, saw the doctor, got the prescription for some kind of painkiller, muscle relaxer kind of medication. I don't know exactly, but a couple of different kinds of medication for a few days worth of that. And also some physical therapy, like just a session of physical therapy there at the place. And the grand total for all of that cost something like around $12, something like that. So it's pretty convenient here that medical costs are as cheap as they are here in Korea. Now obviously if you need something like a huge ass like surgery or whatever, it's gonna cost a lot, and the dentist still costs quite a bit, still a fraction of what it costs in America, but certain things of course can still be a little bit expensive, but as long as it's nothing too serious, it's quite good. Let's see. Ricardo, you said you're just posting the kit, you have to wait for GP to get it in? Why? Ricardo, what are you talking about? I assume you're talking about Gundam Planet. But you're waiting for Gundam Planet to get it in before you can start building it? What are you talking about? Oh, was that not your kit? You were just reposting that photo, or what? I'm confused. Let's see. Any opinions on the HG Dynamace? I have one coming in the mail. Edgy, I've not ever built the HG Dynamace. I'm sure it's probably a fine kit. I would have sprung for the Master Grade if I were you, but the HG 00 kits, in my experience, which is pretty limited experience, but they're pretty good. Yeah. Let's see. Had to go, but wanted you and everyone else to know I can't say enough good things about you as a Gundam store. It's totally worth driving from Jacksonville to visit the Daytona store. Well, that's cool. Thank you, XNet PC. Have a good rest of the day there, and appreciate your support. Oh, Ricardo, that was Bandai's picture? Oh, that's kind of strange. It was not like, you know, usually you expect Bandai to just be like the actual, just posting like the actual image of the box art or something, or like a picture of the box, like at Gundam base or something. It was kind of weird that it was like just, from what I remember of your photo that was posted, it was like just the kit. Kind of like there, I don't know. Anyway, okay. So you're getting it from Gundam Planet, eh? Do you think any more big Bandai releases coming this year, or is the RG Zeong Unit 2 it for this year? Well, the RG Zeong is not coming out this year. It's coming in January. I believe it was originally planned to be coming out in December, but it was pushed back. We of course have in November, which is 2 months from now, we have the Master Grade Wing Ver.Ka, the Wing Zero Custom. That's coming out, so that's another big kit, kind of. And what else? Yeah, the PG Unleashed. We just still don't really know what the deal is with that kit, if it'll be coming out this year or not. I would assume it's probably not coming out this year, though. I would guess the PG Unleashed is also going to be delayed, but we shall see. There you go. Got yours, Buck said got his pre-ordered with you as a Gundam store. Very appreciated that. I'm not sure. I have to check if pre-orders are still available for this kit through US Gundam store or not. I think last I checked, last I knew, Adam said that they were almost sold out. So the pre-orders for this, at least through US Gundam store, might be gone or almost gone. Yes, forgot about the wing. How could you? Just news, some news as of yesterday is that we'll be doing a giveaway for the Master Grade Wing Ver.Ka as well too. So if you guys remember when the Master Grade Phas Ver.Ka came out, I did a giveaway with that, and I had mine that I built on the live stream and for the review and all that, and then a second one was donated by Patrick. So Patrick, the same very generous fellow who donated the second Phas for giveaway, is once again this time donating a new Wing Ver.Ka for giveaway too. So that'll be something that I'll do during the live stream build. So I know it's a little ways off now, being like 2 months away, so just kind of a long heads up on that, but we'll be giving away one Master Grade Wing Gundam Ver.Ka once that comes out, thanks to Patrick. So thanks, Patrick. I don't think he's watching at the moment. He's usually there in the chat, if or chatting in the chat if he's here. I don't think he's here right now, but so that'll be cool. So he sent me a message yesterday to ask if we wanted to do that. I said, of course. So hopefully one of you guys can win yourselves a Wing Ver.Ka. All right. And at this point, I'm putting them back into here, like to keep everything organized, but there's not really necessarily any points to keeping things organized by like section of the build at this point, because later on, once I get to like washing the parts and starting on painting the parts, everything's going to be all mixed together anyway. So there's not really any point to keeping everything separate now. It's just kind of for the sake of keeping it somewhat organized at the moment, but it won't be organized for too much longer. Soon enough, it'll just be all mixed in together. But that's why it's important to snap build the kit first, even if you're going to be painting it, because you can get a sense of all the parts and everything like that. You know, and the unicorn's pretty recognizable. Like all the parts, like obviously this is a piece for the foot. Like I wouldn't get that confused for something like that could go onto the shoulder or something. But there are a few of like kind of the inner parts. It's a fly. Damn, missed it. There are a few like the inner parts that might get confusing or whatever, but the fact that I've now built the kit and disassembled it, I'm more familiar with the parts. It's easier to remember which part's which and what goes where and all that. So, not that I can like throw the assembly manual out the window, that I just don't need it anymore. I definitely will still refer to that, like now, for disassembly. And then later on when I'm doing the final assembly, obviously I'll need the manual for putting it back together, because I'll have to include the LEDs as well too. But it's good to familiarize yourself with the kit by building it first and then taking it apart. Saki, the GP line needs a 2.0 pronto. Yeah, yes, definitely. I mean, it's something I've talked about many times on many a live stream. Have spoke of a dream of a 2.0 GPO1 or GPO2, GPO3, any of them. Fingers crossed someday. I'm sure it's just a matter of time, but ideally it would be sooner than later. Come off there, you. See that part off of there. That part of there, there. We can go ahead and pop off this section at the bottom. This part here off the front. Yes. Probably around the 0083 anniversary. Yeah, maybe. I guess that would make sense, but as we all know, Bandai doesn't often make a lot of sense in their decisions, at least. Doesn't always make a lot of sense to us. I'm sure it makes perfect sense for how they're planning their releases and all of that, but come on then. There we go. Just slots up into place, so why don't you just slot on down out of there, will ya? There you go. A real Chad move would be PG Core Gundam. I mean, it's kind of silly, but I think a Master Grade Core Gundam would be cool. Obviously, they can do all the different variants and stuff like that, releasing them as different part sets or something like that. But I feel like Bandai doesn't really have as much luck. I don't know if luck's there. Damn, the fucking fly is back again. Get out of here, dude. Gotcha, asshole. Bandai doesn't really like to do kind of option sets for master grades that much. They don't really seem to do quite as well. Like, for example, they had was the Build Strike Gundam, and then they had what was that? The Build Strike booster, build booster. What was that thing called? That was the separate set for that. And I don't know. I mean, I don't have access to Bandai's sales data, but it just didn't really seem like that popular a thing. I think they probably would have, like, if it was very popular, they probably would have continued it doing something else. But because of the fact that it's something that they've not really done much of before, and they've done a couple, and they seem to be like kind of testing how that could work, how well that could work, doing the whole like expansion sets for MG kits. And I don't know, it just doesn't really seem like something that really works well for them, that they're going to maybe do very much more in the future. Maybe they will, something more in the future. Obviously, if they do like an Earth 3 Gundam, that's something that they could certainly do, and I think it would, I mean, I imagine it would maybe do well enough, but I don't know. Who knows? I think probably what it'd be like an Earth, it'd be a Master Grade Earth 3 Gundam, and then they would have probably a couple expansion sets. Maybe they would probably all be P Bandai, likely, but maybe like the V2, I don't know, it would be a standard release as well too, but I don't know, maybe not. Doesn't really seem very likely in all honesty, actually. It would just all be P Bandai probably. P Bandai V2 and P Bandai Mars 4. That'd probably be kind of the extent of it. I don't know if they would really keep doing it too much more after that as well too. Who knows? They did those expansion sets for the MG Age kits, kinda like that Never Had made MG3. Did they have expansion sets for the MG Age kits? What are you talking about? No, they had like the different variants, but they were like full kits. Did they do any like actual like expansion kits for any of the Age kits? I don't remember that. P Bandai Start Jagan, yeah, still very confused as to why they've not made more P Bandai Master Grade Jagan variants yet. I'm sure it's like they'll be coming eventually, and I guess they'll just be coming out slowly. But really surprised that they've not done more with that kit yet. They did the MGV Core Fighter. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's another one where that the Master Grade Ver.Ka Core Fighter Gundam for the V Victory Gundam. Also, it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Is that really a very popular kit? Who's gonna buy that? That's that one too. Like, I don't really even kind of understand really the point of that. MG Stargazer Gundam. Yeah, I don't know about that. Someone was just. I was just going through some comments yesterday or the day before, and I'd seen someone had commented on my review of the HG Stargazer Gundam about wanting, like, asking when they're gonna make a real grade Stargazer. I think I just replied like never or something like that, because Stargazer, I think, I don't know, maybe possibly an MG at some point. A real grade though, I would say very, very, super, very unlikely. An MG though, I don't know, because they have done a couple of the kind of more obscure things like the Astray Noir. But I mean, the Astray is super duper popular, so that's not much of a thing. And the Destiny Impulse, like a couple of those, the more obscure seed side story things. So maybe they would do an MG Stargazer, possibly. How about a normal HG Gym? Yeah, I wonder if they're ever gonna make a kind of revive HG Gym, just like original Gym. Yeah, it's a good question. I'm sure it's probably also coming at some point. Like, it took them a while to finally get around to making what is essentially like a revive Zaku 2. with the Sharzak 2 kit that just recently came out. So it could be quite a long wait as well too for a new HG gym. Alright, almost done here with the legs. There we go. Let's do the head next, shall we? Pop out the V-fin. Night, man. Alright, Brian, catch you later. Thanks for coming in, hanging out for a while. Let's see. There you go. I gotta say, at least as far as I've seen so far, and what has really only been like the first 24 hours, I guess, but so far, on the review of this kit, not really seen anyone really complaining about the fact that I'm reviewing it without the LED system in there. It's really expecting to get some comments like, how are you going to review this kit without the LED? But I guess my plan worked. Has Bandai discontinued the old HGUCs that already got a revived version? No, Raphael, no. I'm sure they've not. Bandai doesn't really ever discontinue production on things, really. On just like old stuff like that, I guess I should say. The clear piece for the eyes in this is so tiny, you have to be really super careful not to lose that. If I can even get it out of here. What do you think will be the next MGEX kit? Would it be or what would you like to see next? I have no idea what it will be. Still, you know, just trying to think what it could possibly be. And as far as other gimmicks go, I think, like I was talking about earlier, it could be something like focusing on the articulation for like a martial arts kind of themed mobile suit, like the God Gundam or the Burning Gundam or something like that. Or they could focus on the transformation. The X point could be based around the transformation of the kit, so like a Zeta or XS Gundam, something like that, with like one of those kits with the kind of much more complex transformation. Something like that. Ouch. There you go. Or yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think could be the next entry grade Gundam or Xeon kit? I don't know. I don't know if entry grade is going to be a grade that we'll really see very much out of or not. I know we'll get the entry grade RX-782, but then after that, I don't know if it's going to be kind of really much of a grade, or if just kind of the entry grade ARC-72 is just kind of a one-off thing. But maybe they'll make like an entry grade gym instead of making a kind of HG Revive gym. Maybe they'll just make an entry grade one. I don't know. That could be. Let's see. Master Grade EX Gundam Tryon 3. That would be pretty extreme. There's a part separator. Do you think the speed grade will get a limited time reprint? Speed grade, is that the age kits? And they kind of changed the name for like the 1/44 scale. Like for seed it was speed grade, and then like for age it was like advanced grade or something like that, right? So what was speed grade? I don't remember offhand. But anyway, yeah, if I'm sure, whatever the case, they'll get reprinted, yeah, eventually. Might just be waiting for a while. With COVID and everything going on, I think Bandai's production is just kind of a little bit more tricky. It seems like they're probably maybe delaying some of the like reproduction, like reprints on old kits a little bit in favor of trying to make sure all their new stuff gets out. They could make an MG Tryon 3 using the Gundam Double Zeta Ver.Ka parts. Maybe. I have to look at it really closely, but I think you guys need to remember that, like, even though the Tryon 3 is based off of the Double Zeta, like, you know, it's not just a matter of reusing the same frame and just changing out the armor parts, because a lot of the way, like, the shape or like the connection of the armor parts is different enough that the frame parts would need to be changed as well too, to accommodate for connecting on the new parts. So like, I don't remember offhand, but just like, for example, if like the forearm part is much larger, then they not only just need a new armor piece for that to go onto the frame, they need like probably a new frame part that they would need to put underneath there. They would need like to have like the main frame from the original Double Zeta Ver.Ka, and then they need like another frame piece to go over that to make it bigger, then they put the new armor piece on top of that. So something like that, for example, is kind of one reason why it's not as easy as it seems to just kind of make these variants. And like a lot of people expected after the damn, I can't tell if this is a separate piece or not here. I'm trying to take these apart, I don't know. A lot of people expected after the release of the RG Shinanju that we were going to get an RG Shinanju Stein, but that, you know, was never really very, you know, all that likely. Come on. There you go. MGEX new Gundam would be cool. If we see anything more with the new Gundam, I'm hoping that's just a PG. And I don't really even like the new Gundam that much, to be honest, so I would be fine with not having a PG new Gundam. But if they're gonna make any sort of new Gundam kit, I think they should make a PG of that. They honestly should have, instead of the metal structure kit, they honestly should have just made that as a PG. But who am I? Bandai should release an action base for PG. Yeah, that's something they should do as well, definitely. Can agree to that. Now, what about this particular piece? I feel like maybe don't need to remove that piece there. I will need to remove that for putting the face together, but the question is, do I need to paint that part? I don't think that part will show at all, so I probably don't need to paint that. The part that goes behind the face. But just to be safe, I don't know. Paint that or not? What do you guys think? I don't think it's gonna show at all. And it's probably better off to be a dark color anyway. The part that I'm gonna be painting, those frame parts, is gonna be a lighter color. But if that's a part in there like behind the face, in order to kind of make sure we're getting a nice bright glow from the LEDs, it's probably better to keep that interior part there darker. So we'll see. What are you talking about there on Twitch? I saw something. There's another thing Bandai will never do. If they feel the PG needs a stand, it will be included with the kit. If not, they will deem that kit not requiring a base. Yeah, Spidey, it's probably true as far as PGs go, but the problem too is if they were to just make a action base for PG now, it's all the action. I mean, all the connections, like, you know, you have to have the connection piece, and they would have to, I mean, the connections for all the different PG kits would be different, or they just have to make kind of like a generic kind of like fork adapter where you just kind of sit the kit on top of there, but those are, it's not very secure, and especially for a big kit and for how big and heavy PG kits are, it wouldn't really be a very good idea to have that. So I think they probably won't come out with any sort of PG stand later to be used with past kits. Yeah, it's probably, like you said, probably something that they're only going to be releasing with a kit if it's meant to go with that kit. Like if they were to make a PG new Gundam, they would make a specific base stand for that, and it would be included with the kit or something. A Master Grade G Self, yeah, I'm hoping for a Master Grade G Self at some point as well too, in the future. Just to see what it would be like, basically. Let's see. And that one goes like that. This part went on the top of the shoulder, but we need to separate that off there. Do you think there's any chance that SD designs from Bandai series will get a larger scale since they vaguely have a scale HG kits now? Yeah, so basically you're asking if like Bandai will do like a master grade SD kit basically. And I think we've talked about this before, and I really think that they should. I think that those would be super interesting, and a lot of people would be really interested in it. Even for me, who I'm not really into SD kits, but I think that would be a really interesting idea. So hopefully Bandai does try that someday, but who knows if they will or not. I definitely think there's money to be made there though, so. Oink. I'd like to see more F91 kits. I really like how they're doing. I wonder if there's anyone who is like buying the full set of all of the A to Z F90s. I mean, that means you need 26 of the base kit, which is pretty crazy. That alone would be at roughly $50 each, so times 26 would be $1,300 just for the base kits. Then all the option kits are about half that price, I guess, roughly. So around $2,000 to make a full set of all the F90 master grades. I'm sure someone, and not even someone, I'm sure there are some people who are collecting all the F90s to make a big F90 display of all the different variants out once they're all out, but you gotta be a real mad lad, a real F90 super fan to be that crazy. Yeah. Reiji said you are collecting them, but not base kits. But you're going to change them out Centurion's style. Not really sure what Centurion's style is, but I get what you mean. You're going to change them out. But I'm sure some people will want to display them as like the full set of everything, so you would need actually 26 of the base kit, you know. I'm sure there's someone doing that. Perfect grade Master Gundam? That's never going to happen. Sorry. A new, like a Master grade, like 2.0 of the Master Gundam would be awesome. And even that I think is probably unlikely because of how, based on how infrequent we get 2.0 kits. If we get any 2.0 from G Gundam, it'll be a 2.0 God Gundam. Aside from that, probably not going to happen anything else. But you know, who knows what's going to change in the next couple of years. Maybe Bandai will... Damn, there goes my fucking camera again. Sorry. In the next couple of years, maybe Bandai will start to focus more on doing a lot more 2.0 master grade kits or something. Who knows? I'm gonna change this up a little bit. Sorry about that. Need a camera mounted to the wall? I can't mount it to the wall. The wall's back behind the shelf. It wouldn't really work. Bandai announced the PG Unleashed will be revealed Unleashed on November 12th. Ah, really? Okay, so they said November 12th is when we'll actually finally get some more information about it. So I would assume that it's not going to be out by the end of the year. It's probably going to be coming out in February or something. We need more mega-sized kits. Yeah, I can definitely agree that we need some more mega-sized kits. I enjoy them. And yeah, it would be nice to get a couple more. I don't know necessarily about a mega-size gym. I don't like the gym that much. But I don't know what else they could do. Mega size. Yes, good question. I mean, they could go to like the fan favorites, doing like a mega size Astray or Exia. I don't know, something along those lines. And the mega size unicorn was really out of nowhere. I was really not expecting that. I thought that the mega size line was pretty much done. They hadn't done any for a while, and it didn't really seem like a line that was really going much of anywhere in the first place. And then suddenly the announcement of the mega size unicorn was like quite the surprise. But a very welcome surprise. It's a really cool kit. Very huge. Mega size Big Zam. Nah, probably not. There you go. Oh, I should have taken this part off first, I'm sure. This was a piece probably that needed to come off in order to take those arm pieces apart more easily. Mega size Barbatos. Wouldn't really be all that excited about that personally, but I could maybe see that happening, maybe, kind of. You have to pressure fry model for the unicorn. What? Surprised they haven't announced a second MG IBO, an IBO MG kit. Yeah, I assume that's probably coming. Next year, I'm sure we'll get another IBO MG kit. Don't know what it will ultimately be, but I'm sure they're working on it. This one, how did this go on there? It went on there like a certain way, right? wasn't it? For the arm. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Simple as that. And it's off the side there. Those. Separate off the clear part from the non-clear parts, and this is the last thing that I can't get apart off of the shoulder. Now, I know it's just a matter of that popping into place, but I just can't get it off of there. Come on. Get it off. Time is it's almost 1 o'clock here. No wonder I'm feeling hungry. Try to finish this up and get some lunch. Get off there. Thank you. Damn. Son of a bitch. Alright. Let's see. Would you attempt to do a 1/12 scale Gundam? Nah, not really. I wouldn't be interested. It's just too big. It wouldn't really be very fun at all, to be honest. There's that 1/24 scale kit, right? Is another one. What's that big giant one? Maybe that's the 1/12. I know there's 1/24 scale kit too, right? Something. Even that was kind of no thanks. The 148 mega size is plenty big enough. I wouldn't really be all that interested in really anything much bigger than that. Have you tried gaming? Van, yeah, I mean, I used to play video games. I wouldn't necessarily say like I tried gaming. That sounds as kind of like it's a actual hobby. Like it used to be like kind of a little bit of a hobby. I wasn't like ever like a super big gamer, you know. I played video games. I'm a young American fellow. Of course, I've played my fair share of video games, but oops. Never got into PC gaming and never really been a fan of like online gaming, online competitive gaming kind of stuff. But I did used to work at GameStop when I was in college. Worked at GameStop for a couple years. I know everyone kind of like loves to meme on GameStop, but I mean, as far as part-time jobs go, I mean, it was a dope job. It's cool, chill, just hang out, talk about video games. The only problem was I was a student at the time, so I didn't really have much time to play video games, so I'm just like hanging out with my coworkers. And that was the other thing too. I had really cool, like really dope coworkers that some of them I'm still in touch with now over 10 years later. So yeah, like we would just be hanging out and just like talking about all the new games and stuff all the time when new games come out, but I was the one that like never had time to play any of the new games or anything, so still it was just cool to, you know, just hang out. but yeah, I was the one that was just busy being a student, can't actually play any of the new games. And I don't know if GameStop still has this. I'm sure one of you guys can answer, probably. You probably know. But we had at the time a deal where the employees can check out, kind of like a rental system, sort of like that, but like a free rental system. Where employees can like check out new games, so when new games come in, we can take them home like for a couple days or whatever to be able to play them, whatever, basically to just familiarize ourselves with the game so that we can better inform customers, whatever, when customers come in. So, yeah, even when new games and stuff come out, I could have played them for free. I just didn't have the time. Bummer. Christopher said, "Hi, I love your content. These streams are calming. Step on me." I'm not going to step on you, but thanks. Glad you appreciate my content. Thank you. Got a little bit weird. What's with people like kind of getting weird about stuff? There was a guy on the stream the other day who said kind of like the same kind of thing, but then like ended his comment with like, "I love you" or something like that. It's kind of weird. I don't remember. Do the windmill Gundam, tequila Gundam. If they ever come out with kits of those, I mean, that'll be fun. Don't ever really see that happening, but you never know, right? What color scheme will you be doing for this kit? Edgy, I posted my plans for the color scheme on Instagram and Twitter yesterday. So if you go to my Instagram and or Twitter page, you can see what my plans are for the color scheme for this. Basically the original color scheme, but just tweaked a little bit. The white will be kind of like a creamy, kind of off-white instead of just straight up white. And the dark blue will be sort of like a medium blue-gray instead of dark navy blue. And the frame, instead of being dark gunmetal gray, kind of as it is now, will be a much lighter kind of beige gray kind of color. It's kind of the main differences. And the V-fin will not be gold, it'll be just kind of a little orangish, slightly orangish yellow. Doesn't the bicep pull apart to do a transformation also? If so, why do all the reviewers never pull it apart? No, the bicep, as far as I know, the bicep on this kit doesn't come, it's not meant to come apart like the PG. I think only the PG really has that. So I think that's part of like the destroy mode unleashed aspect of the PG. So I think I saw another comment too, someone asking like why only the PG has the unleashed mode. And I think it's just because that was just something, you know, that they were just doing to set the PG apart from other versions of the kit. And I kind of forget about that. I keep mentioning like how between this kit and the PG, how like the main difference is that like the PG you can't really do much posing with, action poses and stuff like that, where the great thing about this kit is that you can actually do action poses and stuff, and of course it's fully lit and all that. But I guess I do keep forgetting that the PG does also have a kind of extended transformation with the Unleashed, Destroy Mode Unleashed as well too. So I guess that's also kind of points to the PG that the this kit doesn't have. So something else I have to keep in mind, I guess. I would love a high resolution Shining Gundam or Master Gundam. Yeah, I would prefer Master Grade, but high res would be pretty cool, I guess too. I would really love a new kit of the Master Gundam. Sean said I could. Oh no, not that I know of. As far as the bicep transformation on the unicorn. And the reason why I'm pretty certain that this kid is definitely not supposed to do that is because the way the bicep is constructed, like the gray pieces inside the inner frame pieces inside there poke out through like the little hole in the armor like this kid has around all over it. There's a little hole there in the armor for that inner frame part to poke out there in the biceps as well too. So if you separate that out, I mean, I guess it would make just a empty hole there, but I don't think it's supposed to do that. It's not mentioned in the manual. Anyway, if you look, shoulder, pull that out on the shoulder, and then that pops up the part on the top, kind of push that back down, and that's it. That's all there is for the arm. Nothing about the bicep. I'm building and painting my first Gundam after watching your channel. Thank you, Jonathan Peter. Well, congratulations. Glad to hear you're taking the step to getting into painting. It's important. And you'll be glad you did, definitely. After you start painting, you're going to be thinking, man, why didn't I start painting a long time ago? So far, this is probably like the hardest part of the kit to take apart. Getting this white part separated from the vent on the side of the shoulder. Leonard says, I love your support for Converge. Such a great band. Yeah. Back in the day, when I was middle school, high school, and into college as well too, like, I wouldn't say I collected band shirts, but I just had loads of band shirts just from going to different shows and stuff all the time. I usually I like to buy t-shirts of the bands that I like, but these days anymore I only ever buy Converge t-shirts. So like when new Converge albums come out, you know, they always do like new merch, whatever, related to that. And so I still like to buy Converge shirts and stuff. Obviously I have my Jane Doe banner over there, but this is one of the it's the newest Converge shirt that I have. I was gonna say it's one of the newer ones. It's actually not that new. I've had it for, it's a couple years old now, 2 years old maybe, but yeah. They're always very cool. Let's see, you should only buy the MGEX over the PG if you don't have a space in your house. Well, that's something else to consider, I suppose, as well too, the space consideration. Is there any better way to get this damn section apart, or what? It's really annoying. It's not really any other way to like get a good handle on it without kind of risking damaging one of like these really small sections of it. Damn. Come on, please. Fuck. Get off there. Did you see the Ava G-frame kits? No, I've not seen about that. That seems like they probably don't look very cool. Yeah, Reggie, I'll check those out, but I would imagine like G-frame, like some of them are kind of alright, but for something like as thin as Ava, I don't know. I'll have to see how they look. Can't imagine them looking very good. Maybe they do. That's stressing me out. Okay, I'm gonna put that to the side for a minute while we just do something else. I don't wanna deal with that anymore. Let's move on to taking apart some of the weapons. Luckily for my intended build of this, I only have to deal with 4 beam Gatling guns instead of 6, but still gonna be a pain. Still a lot of pieces to dick around with. Thought I broke something there. What's the best way to sand the Zaku 2 tube parts, the smaller parts? Johnny asking about sanding the Zaku 2 tube parts. Are you talking about on the Master Grade 2.0 kit? Yay or nay? Well, I guess kind of basically whether it's the 2.0 or kind of any version of the Zaku, kind of, in my experience, the best way to sand the tube parts is kind of the same for any version of the kit. It's just using a soft type sanding stick. If you guys have been watching, you've heard me talk about this before. The soft type sanding sticks are great. I have got one here where they're like a little bit spongy. They're solid, rigid enough to be able to sand flat surfaces, but then they're like a little bit spongy, so good for like curved surfaces as well. You know, just kind of do your thing around the side of that. And so these work really well. So on the 2.0, I just recently built the mechanical clear Zaku 2 2.0 kit. You know, so basically what I did for that was, you know, you have like the line of the tube sections, and you just cut them all with like leaving a good amount of gate on there, a good amount of nub. Then I went and did a secondary cut, a little bit closer, not like super flush, but a little bit closer just to get rid of a little bit more of the nub there. Once it's separated, cut everything again just to cut a little bit more of the nub off. Then I went at it with a knife and just cut a little bit more of the nub, like kind of as much as I could just with the knife, and then go with the sanding stick and just kind of finish it off. So it takes a while, yeah, but that's what I found to get very good results with that. In that particular case though, I did use, because it's a clear kit, after doing the first cut, second cut, and then knife, I didn't use a sanding stick, I used the gun primer razor instead of a sanding stick. These parts I need to glue and remove the seam on them, so I'm just leaving them out for the moment because I'll do that straight away. Get some glue on those so I can sand those. Is there any way to put the shield on the back of this unicorn? Yes, I believe. Actually, now that you mention it, maybe there's not, actually. Let me see if there's something in the manual about that. I didn't try it in the review, so I surely forgot about it, but that's a good question, actually. And offhand, I would say, actually, I don't think there is. Yeah, see, the manual here shows you can plug the beam rifle, the beam magnum, or the bazooka onto the back there, but it doesn't say anything about the shield, and I don't think that you can, just because of the connection for the shield. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. But if you've got like the old Ver.Ka, you should be able to put its shield onto the back of this if you wanted to. Let's just finish these parts here. Come on. Van asking what was my first Gunpla. My first Gunpla was the 1:100 scale HG Shenlong kit, as far as I can remember. Dougie Minty Fresh, yo, over there on Twitch. Alright, where's okay, they're all there. Then just need to take apart the shield and beam magnum here. There we go. And doesn't seem like any really good way to get this part separated off the inside of the shield here. Can try just kind of pulling this section up. Should work. There we go. Problem is there's 6 pegs here holding that section in place. A lot of resistance. Same thing here with this one. Just 4 pegs instead of 6. A little bit easier. These guys off of here. Come on. Get it off. These little side bits off of here. Do you prefer the RG, OG, the Unicorn, or the Banshee? As far as RG kits go, I mean, they're both cool. I don't know, between the Unicorn and the Banshee, Banshee maybe, I guess, but I don't know. Someone mentioned this in the comments, and I was wondering about that. How you can make the ammo of this pop off there. So the ammo here for the beam magnum is meant to be installed here like that, but you know, if like in the anime, after it's fired, it kind of moves up like that, and then when you close this back together, it will actually, well, it should, let's try that again, pop that pop the top section off of there, so it kind of works like anime accuracy working bit there. There you go, like that. And fire again, that moves up, close it back down, it pops off of there, fire again, that moves up, up, up. No, you need to actually remove this part on the bottom in order to make that work. Anyway, you guys get the idea. That's kind of cool. I did not know that. So thank you to whoever you are who left that comment on the review. Learn something new every day. Do the lights work? Yes, the lights work. To remove the steam line on this part here too. So gonna go ahead and leave this one out for the moment also. Yo, my knife back. That should be easy enough, pretty easy. Pretty easy peasy seam line to remove. Okay, so that's everything. We got a couple of seam lines on the weapons parts here we need to remove. So the last thing we need to do then is get this damn piece off the shoulder here, if we can, and we can call it a day. So, alright. should come off of here just by pulling this, and I'm just trying to be really careful with it. But it's sharp, like poking me at the same time is the problem. I don't want to use that. Could try pushing it, but I don't have anything like proper size and shape and blunt. I could push this from the other side. Maybe this will work. Come on. Mars asking, what is a good way to prep an intricate inner frame like the MG Barbatos? What do you mean by prep? You mean like just like sanding or what? Building? I don't know. Casval asked, do you know where we can get a rifle that looks like an M4 that would be sized for an MG Zaku? I don't know what an M4 is. I don't really know about like real world weapons, but sized for an MG Zaku. I'm guessing that's some sort of kind of like assault rifle looking thing, basically like an automatic rifle. Kotobukiya makes an MSG set of like kind of realistic sort of looking kind of rifles like that. Maybe is kind of what along the lines of what you're talking about. So Castle, I would recommend looking at the Kotobukiya MSG option weapons, and you can probably find something. The size might be a little bit small, but I'm not sure. The size of those usually, like on most 1/100 scale Gundam kits, those weapons tend to be a little bit on the small side. But for like 1/44 scale kits, they tend to be a little bit too large. So that's kind of the problem with using some of those parts with Gundam kits. Fuck. Alright. Now we're done. Damn. So, that's a wrap for today, guys, for the disassembly. Not sure at the moment what the next live stream is going to be as far as like building or anything like that. I'll let y'all know. But I know I can say on Thursday afternoon, actually right around this time, I think starting 1 p.m. my time here, will be the next episode of Plamono Trend with Josh and a special guest this week for Plamono Trend. Josh and I will be joined by a third member who'll be a special guest for this week's hashtag that we're going to be taking a look at on that show. So Brendan, you want the RG Ava 2 live stream build? Maybe, I guess we'll live stream build that. I got it here. As you can see over in the back of me. Yeah. RG Ava 2. Looks pretty cool. Maybe. I'll think about that. In the meantime, alright guys, have a good rest of the day, night, wherever you are. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Scheduled to upload here in a couple hours will be my final video of the HGZ Messer. So check that out later. And thank you in advance for doing so.